Yo, welcome to episode 96 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Wario. No, I was kidding. I'm Wario Wildcard. I'm Stevie Wildcard.
Stario. Why Wildcardio?
Wario. I'm Stevie Wario Card.
Would you be Mario Card? Or would you be Mild Card? Would you be like Wild? Because what's your Bizarro version? It has to be Mild Card, right?
Yeah. But the thing is the Stevie Wildcard is
already
ironic because I'm not wild. So is it like where do we flip it?
Where do we flip
Stevie
it?
actual wild card?
So does it become like Stevie Mild Card is super wild? Like he's just untamable. I can't tame me. Can't hold this down. Anyway, so Wario and I get together every week and we do our best to make comics. We overcome our various life issues and personal nonsense that we have to kind of just get through. Steven, we have so much to get through all the time. We've been failing lately, but last week you had some big words, Steven. You said the thing. You were like, you rubbed the lamp and you're like, Genie, I have one wish. He's like, you can have three, man. And you're like, I don't even need the one. I got this. And he was like, that's a lot. I mean, are you sure? You sure you can really spread this out? You can make this work a little.
See, what sucks about what you're doing right now is because of what happened on Monday, why I'm going to say that I failed, because damn it, I failed. But I did finish the last page here, but then I also did.
I'm in the middle. You do like this way. There you go.
But I also finished all the roughs on the previous page, and I'm already starting final inks on it. So what had happened was on Monday, I laid down for a nap at 11. My plan Monday was to go grab an SD card from Anthony. He lives in Estero, so it's round trip. It should have been about an hour and 15 minutes for me. And then I was going to draw, but I laid down for a nap at 11 with plans to wake up at like 12:45 or 12:30 or something. And I woke up at like 3:45. So
Steven's complaining because he got a full night rest during the day. It was nice.
It was obvious. It was like the burning on both ends, and that was just the final catch-up point. But it makes me upset because I actually had my time, like as busy as my weekend was, I actually had it set up. And I did not account for me accidentally taking like almost a 4 or 5 hour nap. So yes, but I will be done before. I'll probably be done shortly after the podcast airs. So I'm not even worried about it. So I'll be shipping the last inks off to you before my big day Saturday. So that means I can start shading on Saturday, which is crazy. So,
oh, dude, this is so exciting. I'm like, I can't wait. Like we're about to finish this book, and I'm just like, it's so exciting, dude. Awesome. I was totally successful this week. I had like a bunch of time randomly that I just I hyper focus. I did the thing where I didn't even listen to anything or watch anything. I was just like really into coloring for a little bit, and I just totally finished the pages that I wanted. And I was like, yes! And I was just like, I had like I guess I finished Stranger Things, and I was in that weird moment where like in that, like that between in space, like that limbo where you're like, I don't have a thing that like is my thing I'm watching right now. I was like, my thing I was watching is over. What do I do? And I was like,
that void is weird. It's awkward for a second,
But but in this moment where like I already feel like I'm a little behind on the productivity things, and that that side of it, I was like, oh, you know what? Like instead of looking for something and spending the time kind of cycling through the potential shows that I could dive into, I'm gonna dive into this book and just like get this stuff done and focus. And it felt really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, it felt really good to get that stuff done. I am going to later this month, I'm going to have about a week where I just took off of work, and Atlas is going to go on a mini vacation with his mom, which he's never really done. But I took off of work while that's happening. So I'm going to have all of that time to probably color and letter the book, which is what I'm gonna aim for, because I want to get to a point.
Honestly, dude, once I start shading, like shading is not going to take me long. So I might very well catch up to the point where I'll just take over on the flats if you want to send me your palettes, and then you can start lettering my shaded pages. I mean, we can get this stuff done if you want. We'll see how it plays out. But you should also you're still writing issue 2 though too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, dude, I will definitely finish issue 2 this month for sure. Like no problem. So I'm like super.
And that's where I'm trying. I figure out where I want to once
when
I
we're gonna
get
start drawing,
certain things, like, do I start drawing it? Because like I think with the issues 2, 3, 4, however many we go, I think it's 4 or 5. We obviously need to try to jump it so people's interests stay interested. Obviously, we have characters drawn out now and stuff like that, so it's gonna be a much easier process. But yeah, I need to like double down on pages and try to aim for like 2 or 3 a week and make that the norm. And that's going to be tough, but I think that's what we need to do to really push Deathless out. So
for sure. I really do think that this like that Deathless is going to be more than chumming the water for all of the like best sharks that we could possibly have. Like the most epic megalodons are gonna. Like I have full faith in this book. I think it's really cool. I think it's really coming together. I think your work speaks for itself, and everyone who has seen it, you know, just absolutely freaking loves it. Awesome. So I can't wait.
I'm so excited to see like black printed now and not pencils, because like the pencils look so good when they're digital, but man, a lot of it loses translation in print. So I get it. Like I didn't go dark enough and things like that. So I'm excited to see true black get printed and see like very clean lines and clean work. Dude. It's going to be cool.
It's going to be a beautiful book. I can't freaking wait. But yeah, I feel like regardless, you also designed one of the coolest logos for the arcade.
Which is awesome. Which, I mean, obviously it's a separate piece, because why would I draw it on a page and not just design it and then paste that? I mean, that the design,
because we're going to use it in different shirts and all kinds of stuff. So issue 2 of Deathless is going to take place in an arcade that's, you know, similar to like a Chuck E. Cheese, Five Nights at Freddy's type place. It's one of those locations, but it's based on Dungeons and Dragons, so it's a gaming location that's also, you know, with like fantasy and roleplay and that kind of stuff. So it's called Game Dragon, so you can have the game on with the dragon. And Steven just designed this really perfect logo that I can't wait to wear on a shirt. I can't wait, Steven.
And dude, like I told you, the GM, it's so funny because I initially designed it as just one line, and just like basically like a very like long dragon, like the leg was still there, the tail was still there. But then, like, literally all that made me change it and try something different was I had that little door on the page. I was like, well, it's going to have to stack on the door, because otherwise it's going to be too long for the door. And then when I stacked it, I'm like, oh my God, it looks like a dragon hoarding its treasure. That's freaking amazing.
It's so good. It's the best logo.
Totally it looks like a dragon's literally going like that, and it's perfect. And I love it.
But yeah, dude, I've had a pretty good week. Aside from my like crazy allergy attack, I guess like maybe we'll talk about that. But we have a guest. I don't want to keep him waiting too long. Steven, would you mind doing like a quick introduction, or like a perfect Steven? Not quick. You know what? That's the wrong word. Let's go with elaborate, beautiful, and like poetic introduction for our fantastic guest today.
Our fantastic guest has not only been one of my closest and best friends for many years. He's been a roommate. He's close friends with Tina. He's known as Big Shasta in some circles. Tina was Little Flippa at that time. I believe that's from Riding Spinners, if I'm not mistaken. He's hilarious. He was a semi-famous Viner for a moment. Joshua Cootware, our buddy and amazingly talented, extraordinaire, gift-making king. I don't know. What else can I say about this wonderful dude?
Welcome to the show, Josh Cootware. The rest is up to you guys. I got nothing. Go ahead.
All right, so Josh, I figured we would just start this episode with a violent rap battle. So I'm not kidding.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. How dark can we get?
Super.
Like, hang on, like this. That dark. Like.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I love that.
My camera just breaks from then on. Like, it never works again.
You're just an A for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, that's what you get. All right.
I bought some knives and I stabbed your app. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we not doing this? Oh, I'm sorry.
He was going down the violent rap.
Oh, you're gonna do a violent? Oh, and you just wait. Did you say bought knives or brought knives? Because if you bought them, that's significantly less gangster, Josh.
I bought a nice set.
I joined a pyramid scheme so I could have the sharpest knives. These knives cut pennies and also your throats.
Cut shoes, loafers. Goes right through. I mean, it's just impressive.
Steven, do you remember when Tina's friend got into one of those where she bought the full knife
set? I think Josh might even remember Seth. Maybe when we first started hanging out with Chelsea forever ago, but it might have been right before your time actually. But she was dating this guy named Seth, and he was an interesting person. That's the kindest way I can put it. But yes, he was trying to
He was a grifter. We should have just been like, teach us your ways. Because he's clearly making money. He's not doing it well, but he's doing it better than me. You know?
He knows how to market whatever he's marketing.
So Seth was at the top of the knife scheme.
I'm guessing
he was the one selling?
The middle at best.
Oh, okay.
He was able to dupe some people to sell under him probably and made some money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, when I was introduced, it was his girlfriend who was showing me. She's like, "Oh yeah, you should get in on this." And I was like, "I can tell immediately by just talking to you for 1 second. I'm not going to be interested, but I want to hear. I want to hear your whole pitch. Like, give it to me." And like, she was like, "Well, here it is. What I had to do was I had to buy this knife set." I was like, "So you bought a set to sell to other people?" She's like, "Yeah, I had to buy my set." And like, that's not how jobs work. Like, if you know, like when you're in sales, you don't have to buy a car and then sell that car. You're a car salesman. You go to the lot, they have cars, you know. So she's like, no, you buy this, and then they tell you to talk to your grandparents. I'm like, oh, okay, so you want to dupe the people closest to you, like the people, you know, like, okay, I got you. So what are these?
They're basically passing the fraud on to you.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, but then you can get them to buy their own knife set from you that they can also sell. And I'm like, I don't think I want to rope my grandparents into this knife scheme, you know, like this is, yeah. So her whole, like the whole claim to fame of these knives was that they could cut pennies. And I was like, I gotta see it, and then it did not work well. Like, it was
wow. No one's ever called us on that. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, no one's requested that we cut pennies in front of them. So I have to, no, but I did, and it did not work. Her boyfriend though, that guy Seth, he had one of those bracelets where he was like, "Watch this, try to push me over." And then we push him over. Yeah, and like you push him over, he goes, "But now watch." And he puts the bracelet on. He's like, "I didn't fall as quickly or as easily." I'm like, "What? Wait."
It was, he was definitely one of those guys.
How did you not fall? Do you have any knives I can buy?
I trust this man fully.
Yeah.
What else can I write? Do you have a larger bracelet, belt size, so I may never tip over again?
All right, I got an idea. So let's put these knives pointing at you behind you. I'm gonna try to push you into it. Let's see how good and sturdy this bracelet is.
If you put these bracelets over private parts, can you fix impotence in some people? Like, is that a thing? It can never waver.
Just stands a tent.
But
no boing.
No boing.
So Steven and I have known Josh for a long time. Steven's known Josh longer than I. Do you guys remember how you met? Josh, do you remember how you met us? We've been asked, I'll tell you before you get into it, we've been asked if you could give what your first impressions of us were when you met either of us, if you can recall.
We can deal with constructive criticism well, right? Yeah, cool. All right, fantastic.
Let's do this.
So I actually met Steven's wife first, and I met
you son of a bitch. I was kidding.
Yeah. Let the rap battle commence. Yeah. So, and then I met Steven, and my first impression, because I wasn't really, I guess I was like a closet nerd. Like it was like not cool to be nerdy. So like I respected him in that way. I'm like, this guy plays the guitar and like talks about comic books. Like, what a loser, And so, but no, then, it kind of grew, and he was amazing. He was like one of the funniest people I ever met. And he was like, so, warm and kind hearted. And then it kind of just went from there. And as you know, Steven and Anthony were best friends. And I'm assuming high school, middle school, one of the schools. All right. And Anthony, I'm pretty sure I met you at Steven's mom's house. Just walked through the door with your plaid shirt one day, all skinny and black hair. And I'm like, oh, look at this guy. Cool. And yeah, you were just equally as nerdy and fucking dorky. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. I was like the, like the preppy kid in high school. You know what I mean? And like, you were the kids that I never like hung out with. So it was kind of like a whole new dynamic for me. Yeah. And like, it really kind of like morphed who I am today. I know that sounds like, ridiculous, but it really does. You know what I mean? And, you guys kind of throughout time made me realize, like, subconsciously, like, yo, just be you. You know what I mean? And yeah, because like, the comic, like, I have never read a comic book. Why am I on this podcast? We have issues with comic books in the background of both. I have no idea. But, and even like, I think the absentees, I think I brought my computer over to Steven's mom's house, and I like tried to color like the early stages of that. And
absolutely, you were a part of the second attempt at absentees, I think it was. And actually, you're the reason why I learned anything in Photoshop for the longest time. I mean, you taught me all the shortcuts, and you were the one that like get basic. I mean, because if you remember when we were first coloring comics, we were using the burn tool. Remember, like we were shading with the burn tool. We were doing like a lot of like things.
What a bunch of plebs.
Yeah, I mean, the burn. Could you imagine having no control over what color you're going to put out on the just whatever it turns? Sometimes it's burnt orange.
It's hot as hell. We like it. Okay,
this is a human, and he's green. And it's burnt. This is him.
But yeah, my first impression of Josh was actually going to Jen and Vanessa's when Tina lived there. Tina and I started dating. She graduated high school, moved out of her parents' house, and moved in with Jen and Vanessa. And my first impression of you was walking into a house party, and you were singing Danny California in like your polo shirt with your flip flops and your khaki shorts, and you were just getting it. And I was like, oh, this kid's cool. This is fun. And it was like the flip side of what you were seeing. These are all people that I didn't necessarily would have not like, because I don't associate with people like that, but like it was a completely different scene for me. I mean, I'm going from like just like the music scene of the area and like the areas that we used to hang out at, and to this like whole different vibe and energy, like these house parties. It was just a different era of my life for sure. But that's my first impression of you was definitely positive. It was like, wow, who's this kid? And like, yeah, same deal. Like you were freaking hilarious. Like we were like vibing off of that. You were like really good at magic tricks. Like you had so many card tricks and so many like cool, like little like party tricks that were just really fun and like energetic and great. So yeah, that was like my first impression.
Funny story. I actually learned those card tricks from my desperate need to be accepted socially. You know what I mean? So I'm like, is this your card? Is this oh my God. Oh, thank God.
I don't know if I can recall like the first time I actually met Josh. I can tell you like I have a lot of really strong memories of Josh, and like Josh and I like participate. Like we used to play a lot of Halo together.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like Reach, right? Reach, I think, was our game for the longest time.
We used to play a lot of Halo together. Josh was one of the first people I met since like Steven, like since like the initial core group, who like you were always really willing to just like dive into doing things with us, you know, like you dove right into the comic book with us. I remember like we started filming a short film once, like with you. I don't know if you remember that, but it was actually, there's a video.
I'm pretty sure, was I wearing a brown robe? Right?
Yeah.
A brown.
Yeah, you were wearing a brown, and you know, like
yeah.
Okay. And I remember specifically like in the script, like it called for you to say like, "God damn," you know, like and you were like, "Hey, I love this." I don't want to say that GD thing, and I was like, "Okay, cool." I was like, "I love this guy." I was like, "He's like," you were like, "I'm all in." I just don't, you know. I was like, "This is so cool," because like right before that, we had just suffered through like dealing with these people who like I wrote scripts, but instead of like just reading it or having an issue with any of it, they would just giggle through and just kind of ruin it all. And you just like came in, you're like, "Let's do this," you know. And like I remember doing that.
Through that.
I don't know if you guys remember. Do you remember when I came up with the achievement list? Do you remember that stupid?
Yes, like, I do remember the achievement list. What happened to the achievement list?
Yeah, do you guys remember that? So
Josh is remembering it too. I completely forgot that.
High five like 5 strangers.
Yes.
Serenade someone. Tina serenaded someone in the Taco Bell drive-thru.
Yes.
Dude, yes. Oh my God, Anthony. You just like unlocked a memory, bro.
Dude, like, well, that's
I had completely forgotten about the achievement list.
Like, well, that's
nuts.
Like those little things mean so much to me because like I come up with like stupid little things for like all the time, and like not everyone's willing to participate in my like quirky life events, you know. But it's like hey, like when you find your people, you know. So
as Steven and I are forgetting about it.
Yeah,
it means a lot to us too, man. That was, you know. What was it? Oh yeah,
yeah.
But I do remember it though. Like that was like a core memory unlocked for sure. That was like what?
That's
just like weird, like I just remember like, you know, when I first met you, you were always willing to participate in those kind of things, and I never felt, even though you looked at us like we were, you know, dorks and stuff, you know, like I never felt. I immediately was like, you know, like I feel like you're one of our friends, like immediately, you know. That was really
well.
Cool.
Again, it was my desperate need to fit in socially, you know. So no matter with what group.
I appreciate it, and I feel just as loved as I did a second ago, Josh. You can't take this from me. So
you're not gonna upstage me, Vanderbeek.
Okay, so I have a bunch of random memories of Josh, but I'll tell you, for some reason, I have two that stick out really strongly, but like the one that I think of the most, and I wonder if it's gonna be like one of those moments that you don't even remember because it was insignificant, but like, and it wasn't even me, I wasn't there. It was you told me a story, and I just love it so much that I was just like, this is my favorite Josh moments. It was you went over someone's house. You were with Jeff, so you were with Jeff at some point. You're talking to Jeff. And Jeff had to leave the room, and he went to the other room, and you're standing in the kitchen. Do you remember this? So you're standing in the kitchen, and there's a ham. There's some kind of ham on the counter.
Am I at Jeff's house with the ham?
Yes.
Okay.
See, I love this. Because, like, for me, I was just like, this is my favorite Josh story, and I bet it's something that like, he doesn't even remember, and it's so funny.
Yeah.
So Josh tells me a story. He's in the kitchen with Jeff. He's talking to Jeff for one reason or another. Jeff's like, "Oh, I'll be right back. I gotta go." So he's leaves the room. Josh, you're standing there in the kitchen, and there's a ham, and you're like, "All right," and you grab a piece of the ham, eat it, and you're like, "This is pretty. That's pretty good ham." And Jeff comes back with a spray bottle of cleaner, and he just starts spraying the counter, but he just sprays right onto the ham and everything else. And I remember you were like, I can never tell him about this. You were like, what was wrong with the ham?
Why did he spray the damn ham with cleaner?
Spray the ham? And it was so funny. I just remember I lost my crap. It was so funny.
Oh my God. Imagine it's a Seinfeldian moment, right? Like you take the bite of the ham, and then someone comes out with like bleach and just sprays everything, including the ham you just ate. Like, is it a biohazard? Why are they purifying it?
You sprayed the ham. That's funny. For sure.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like, it's funny how these little moments like stick out to it's like it means something to one person and just everything. Anyway, Steven, do you have anything you want to ask Josh while we're here? We're supposed to interrogate him like terribly. Like it's gonna be that and the violent rap battle. I feel like he already won that by buying those knives.
What's the thing? What's a project or something that you've been maybe piecing together or working on periodically that you're excited for?
Okay, so I never had a college education, but I've always had this interest in motion graphics, visual effects, designing, things like that. And I used to make, I kind of still do whatever, but I used to really be into making GIFs, GIFs, for Reddit. And, I went on front page a bunch of times, 24,000 upvotes, 36 awards, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm good at this, and people like my writing. I'm funny, cool. But like throughout the years, I mean, I've been trying to write like a short web series, and call it laziness or just busy. But I never got the grounding to do that. Okay. And I've had different people like, oh yeah, dude, let's fucking write a show. Excuse my French. Let's write a show. I'll be this, and it just went through, people, like Mike was one of them, Brian was one of them, my friend Rachel was one of them. I'm sure I've mentioned it to Steven, and it just never linked up or came to fruition. But that was like my ultimate, like, just not even like make it, just like make it big time. I actually want to make it. But right now, recently, because of my no college, but with the GIFs, I just gained the knowledge of After Effects and Cinema 4D and all these amazing programs that I have access to a point where I pay monthly for the Adobe suite, and I work with Premiere Pro, After Effects, Illustrator, Photoshop, and what I really want to do is make my motion graphic reel, which takes a number of months to do, because I have to make the graphics, then I have to put them into Adobe After Effects and apply the motions keyframe by keyframe. It's a very big process, but when that is complete, that's essentially my portfolio. It's like, I don't have a college degree, but look at this and tell me I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Especially using softwares like that, I mean, like, it's really what your skills can do. Like, if you can produce the work, right? I mean, what does it matter at that point?
Exactly. And a lot of people, there's a lot that have they want a college degree, bachelor's, 4 years, 6 years in the industry, documented. A lot of people, they just want to see your work. And a lot of these positions, a lot of them are remote work, and they're paying like 70, 80, 90,000 a year, depending on which production studio you can go with. And it's something I'm really looking forward to. You know what I mean? Because I'm about to I can feel myself making that jump into the industry, and that's something that I'm really excited for.
That's awesome. And you definitely have like some connects, like some of the people that you've met, and high quality gifts, and like they're like, there's a lot of people that you've met that have amazing skills that have taught you some of their stuff and like things like that. So I mean, that's exciting. And then you have me do like a quick rough for you so you can like practice an Illustrator and stuff. So that's cool.
Absolutely.
So you're just trying to learn the suite basically so that you're skilled in multiple areas of it. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Because I can't draw, you know what I mean? But I can, trace digitally and color stuff, and that's
you have the eye for it, basically, just not the hand.
I do have the eye for it. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I can draw like a box or something.
Stop bragging, Josh. You didn't come here to brag about your box skills.
Yeah, I know.
No, but dude, that's amazing. I asked Josh last time we saw each other. I asked you if you'd be willing to work on a vampire movie that we're inevitably going to make. And I said that you had to do it, and we're gonna need someone to explode. That's it. It has to be an explosion. I feel like you're gonna be my like the go-to person where I'm gonna be like, Josh, everything's riding on this
explosion sequence.
And for the viewers and listeners, Anthony asked me this on Steven's couch a week ago, last Sunday, and I'm like, I don't really know how to make someone explode, but I'm sure if I YouTube 12-minute video how to make someone explode.
That's exactly.
Let me watch this and we'll do it. It's like okay,
but
thank you, internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how this is gonna go for sure.
And you know what's cool? Is like I've never done that effect, but when I do that effect, that is now something that I can put in my portfolio. Yep. You know what I mean? And like it's crazy. Like the networking, you don't even realize it's happening. Like I'm building my portfolio by doing fun projects with friends. You know what I mean? And like it's a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, Deathless has taken me from being able to just drawing this hand. Remember this hand? I put this hand in everything, but now I can draw like a bunch of different types of hands, and it's really.
I mean, you can do this one or this one now.
Yeah, I can do this one. I could do like cool like side I could do like Doctor Strange stuff. Like it's pretty cool.
No king signs, Steven. Stop it.
It's funny you say that, Steven, because like I would like, I'm thinking like I can learn to draw, easy shit. So, dude, if you saw some of this stuff that I like trying to draw, like, it's so bad. But I went to, you know what, Anthony? I went to Michael's. I did. And I bought this little wooden person that I can pose and I can practice. Yep. And so I could pose it. I put it on my desk, like I'm posing so I can practice drawing them. And in like 4 days, I lost it. So, my dedication for learning how to draw is really there.
What I'm hearing is that Josh proved the Toy Story is based on fact. A little wooden person running around, just making.
He was on a stand, so like, if anything, you could just like stand there in motion. You couldn't really. I guess you could hop. You could hop.
Those
like a hopper.
I mean, that would be probably the most boring thing to put in the cupboard from Indian in the Cupboard. Josh, did you see Indian in the Cupboard when you were a kid?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What would you have put in the cupboard?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not Josh, but I'm excited for my turn. I'm excited for my turn.
Wait, what happened when you put something in the
came to life?
You put something in the cupboard.
That's what I thought.
And when you open the cupboard up again, it's alive. It's Okay.
Damn, that's a good question.
You practically, you Toy Story stuff.
Toy Story stuff.
I wonder if that movie spawned the idea of Toy Story to some extent.
I mean, Toy Story has to be like, there is no better placeholder name. They're like, oh, we have a story. It's about toys. All right, well, for now, let's just call it Toy Story. They're like, okay, cool. We'll change that eventually, right? Yeah, sure. Toy Story 7.
It's stuck.
So I guess, okay, so like back in the day, I guess I would have to say, because I was obsessed with two things back in the day. The actual original California Raisins. You remember that? The Grapevine song? like the 4 little
and they
ravens
always
with
had the
white
cool
gloves,
little
okay?
figurines you could buy of them. And
Yes,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah, I
So
remember.
yes, I would have put them in there so I could listen to Grapevine all of the time.
Live. You could
And
listen to
then
like that's
live.
a pretty good. That's a
Yeah.
pretty good
thing.
That was pretty cool.
It just shows you how you, dude. It just shows like how used I am to like Anthony filling in my blank, like because I just trail off and let him take back over because it's like an interrupt, and I'm just like that's a good, and then you just stared at me and waited for me to like.
Suggestion sandwich.
My editing is invaluable, Steven. I would like to point that out. Oh man, but Steven, what would you put in the cupboard?
Dude, I know it's so weird because I don't even own one anymore, but I would totally want to put a Beast War in there just because like seeing like the animal switch to the robot form. And I would probably want to put let's see what they were then, because they were the Autobots and the Decepticons, but in Beast Wars they were the Maximals and Predacon. So you probably want to put a Predacon in there because
that would transform like that,
like Cheetor or something like that would be sweet. Like Rhinox was cool, like that would be awesome. Like but Josh's like California Raisins is brilliant because of like the double purpose.
Oh yeah, I mean, and of all the things you could capitalize on, you have like live singing raisins. What do you?
I literally have singing raisins, people. Like
I mean, you win. I wonder if it had the same like magic and rules as Toy Story. The Toy Story rules are still baffling to me, guys. Like, did you guys see Toy Story 4? Did you see the one?
I recently watched all 4 Toy Stories as a single 37-year-old male, like 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I've seen the 4th one.
No, that's okay. So, what's it called? Sticky?
Forky.
Yeah, there it is. You're right. Okay, so Forky. That begs the question, man. That's like, is it Forky?
It's Forky, but he's a spork.
He is a spork.
Forky. Yeah.
Okay, but
it's Forky though. I think I remember Forky, right?
So, okay, but Forky, she puts eyes on a thing. She haphazardly glues some stuff, and she's like, ha ha ha, and suddenly he's alive in that world.
Toy.
He's a toy.
That was beautiful.
But
you know what's really beautiful is that he kept saying that he was trash the entire movie.
It's so interesting. And like, okay, that's part of why I think it's so interesting, because I'm like, okay, Buzz Lightyear wasn't like, I'm a toy. First of all, he's a completely separate thing. Why is he so delusional and thinks he's an actual space ranger? But then there's like Woody and the rest of them. None of them were like, I'm plastic. They were just like, I'm a cowboy toy. Like, that's what but like he's like, I'm trash. And it's like, what facilitated this? What magic did that little girl, because it's just weird to think like, can you put eyes on anything and call it a toy? Like, do adult toys count? What?
Does it get weird fast?
It gets weird fast. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, if you put
a male sex toy, I added eyes. This is fleshy.
No, Josh, you can make adult Toy Story and they'd still be called Woody and Buzz.
Yeah.
but anyway, I don't know what I'd put in there, to be honest with you. Like, probably a McFarlane toy. It'd probably be like something goofy. You know what?
Spawn.
My okay. Now what I'm thinking.
Serious, like
now what I'm like, when he puts other things in there. So there is one scene, the coolest scene in the movie to my mind is he puts RoboCop, a dinosaur from Jurassic Park, and like a few other things in there. It's only for once. It's like a hectic scene. He opens it up and it's like you see like RoboCop shooting his gun, which means like now his gun is real. Like his gun became real. He's shooting it. You know what I mean? Like, like it's not, everything is fully functional suddenly. It's not like he just has like a replica of a gun.
So we had to assume down to the organ at that point, right? Like flesh-based things would have hearts and livers and
Stephen, where I'm going with this is what if
wieners?
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, like, who doesn't want?
That's
where I was going with this. I just want a bunch of tiny wieners. No. But what I was thinking, dude, is like, what if you put Genie from Aladdin in there? You find a little Genie toy, you put him in there.
Do you break the rules of reality at that point? Like,
well, because if RoboCop's gun is equipped with bullets that were never in the toy in the first place, then we're talking it's whatever that character's essence is comes to life as a whole. That's what that suggests to me.
Just like, could you imagine opening like, I'm back? He just like comes out and it's like, and the thing is he wouldn't have to remain small because the Genie could increase or decrease his size. So he could just straight up be the Genie from Aladdin. Like he could just,
And if you bought several genie toys,
10,000 years. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, if you buy several genie toys, you just have unlimited wishes, a bunch of genie friends.
You only get 3 wishes. Yeah, that's what they all say, bub.
Man, okay. Since
they all say
we found our way to Disney. Josh, what were your Disney movies growing up? What your go-to, like, this is you, like, this is what you identify with, or just love the most for whatever reason?
Okay, so I can pretty much sing and quote everything from Aladdin, Lion King, even Mulan, I would say. There was a show on Disney called Under the Umbrella Tree. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that show.
It does sound familiar.
That was a good one. I was definitely more Disney than Nickelodeon. I was never into Hey Arnold, Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, guys, we lost Josh. He's not here anymore. I don't know what happened. It's so weird. But I mean, no. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I get it.
Like I've seen them. I have never seen. I have not seen more than 5 episodes of SpongeBob. I just missed that. I never got into Pokemon. It was Saturday morning cartoons, really. G.I. Joe, SWAT Cats, Thundercats.
Ooh, SWAT Cats. They were cool.
Yeah.
Disney had a lot of good shows. They had like DuckTales, Darkwing Duck.
DuckTales. Oh my God, yes.
Of course.
Yep.
Like
Gargoyles.
Hurricane.
Gargoyles, yeah.
Oh my God, Gargoyles with Goliath, Hudson, Lexington. Yeah.
See, I walked both lines, man. I was all about Disney, but I was all about Nick too, like Nick and Night, Nickelodeon, like Real Monsters, all that.
I did watch Real Monsters. Yeah, okay, all right.
But so you would say your 3 90s Disney movies would have to be Aladdin, Lion King, and Mulan, then, you think?
You know what? Call me crazy. Little Mermaid is probably going to take precedence over Mulan.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, Under the Sea, Kiss the Girl, all that fun stuff.
Right.
So
I've always enjoyed Aladdin a lot. Aladdin's definitely top 5, top 10, somewhere.
Me too. Like Aladdin's always been like I've always been like Aladdin, Goofy Movie, and like Hercules for some reason.
I want to say very noticeable wish that he didn't wish was anything to do with his little Aladdin. So I mean, like, we just have to assume he was like swinging like. Oh yeah, I'll just stop. I mean, like, he did.
Yeah,
that wasn't his first wish,
Wait, Steven, what? Can you imagine Steven's first wish? I need a bigger little Aladdin.
What does that even mean?
My little Aladdin needs to be.
He just gives you like a toy Aladdin. It's like bigger. It's like, exactly what I wanted.
No, I think all of the Disney movies had like these weird little like character things that made no sense. Like, if you watch The Little Mermaid, if Triton would have just let Ariel go on land for an hour, she would have been fine. He could have been like, bye, I grant you with hour-long legs. Like, they're gonna work for an hour, come back. It's Cinderella. When the clock strikes midnight, you're a fish again. Like, boom. And she would have been like, oh, this is gross out. Oh, people eat fish. Oh my God. And like, she would have been like disgusted by things and maybe like made out with a guy a little and then gone back home. Best of both worlds. Like, she could have Miley Cyrus'd it or something, but like, she was, but instead he's like, you can't have the car. And she's like, what do you mean by car? And he's like, legs. And she's like, I get this now. And then like, she went to the, like, why did she go to Ursula? It's crazy that Ursula's alive. Let's just all face it. Like Triton knows what's up. There's no way he's like, I'm the god of the sea. I'm the king of this land. And that's like my sister or something. And
I just let that sea witch live and cast a bunch of spells all the time, even though I could probably take her down as long as I don't let her plan a cunning plan.
Yeah. Have you? I mean, do we not remember what Triton looks like? Daddy, hello.
You know what I mean? I feel like you're not wrong. Triton makes us all think, but like
80 years old, ripped.
Like,
what?
It's so funny when like one character's like little bit of selfishness completely throws everything into disarray. Like, dude, Jafar has to be the biggest offender.
Give me
the lamp. Like, he literally got everything he wanted, and once all he had to do was help Aladdin up a little.
Aladdin didn't want that lamp.
Aladdin didn't even want the lamp. He's like, oh, I did. I'm free. I did the thing you wanted me to do. We're all good.
Give me the lamp.
Yeah, he's like, give me the lamp. All he had to do was be like, oh, here you go, buddy. Did you get my lamp? And Aladdin would be like, yeah, why do you want this dirty lamp? And that would be that was it. Jafar
would have ruled the kingdom, and that would have been it.
Yeah, but instead he's like, "Give me the lamp," and it's like, "What?" It's like, oh my god, why are you even pretending to be an old man at this point? You know, like what is that?
I'd rather have these movies than another remake because originality is so stagnant everywhere, dude. Another remake, another remake, another remake.
And I'll have to
Park
say,
should be done with. I didn't see the new one. I'm sure it's good.
I actually haven't seen the new one either. And I was going to say, from what I've heard too, with like the most of the newer live action Disney movies, they haven't really like brought anything to the table that's much, you know. I mean, they definitely don't overdo what the original did, and just feels like they're trying to reawaken those movies when they can just keep making.
Yeah,
I've liked a lot of the new
their
CGI movies. You know, I've loved almost all of those. But
see, the only things like I felt, I mean, Steven, you know it. You sing a beautiful "Be Prepared" by Scar from Lion King, and in the live action, the only part of that was like the last chorus. Like they didn't even go into the
and
verse,
that did break my heart because that's like, like that whole that the energy of that song
is what absolutely.
No,
100%
completely, dude. I felt the same way about that one. I think the only redeemable quality for me with the live action Lion King was Timon and Pumbaa were fun. Like their version of Timon and Pumbaa was a fun version. It was like, oh, this is different, but I like what they're doing at least. You know, like they gave them some funny lines. It was like their interactions were cool.
And they casted them perfectly. Yes. I mean, Timon and Pumbaa were perfectly casted. I mean,
and dude, a lot of that movie was shot for shot. Like when you watch it, like it was okay. I'm impressed by, you know, the cinematography.
Yeah, they actually basically took the scenes like the original camera pans.
Yep.
Okay.
But like, you know, the memorable quotes like Rafiki, you know, shh, look down there. You know what I mean? Like that's what I wanted.
But yeah, I don't know. Like people like different things. I'm sure the weirdest thing about all of this is like the freaking the Disney remakes are someone's favorite movie. Isn't that weird? You know what I think about that? Like like, you know what I mean? Like there's someone out there who's like, oh, that version of The Lion King is my favorite movie for some reason. You know, it's just like that weird subjective nature.
It's all about like when I feel like it's like with music too, like when a movie or a song or a cartoon or something gets you when you're in a mood and you watch it, like that first impression, or just like it doesn't even have to be the first impression, but an impression is made when there's something going on in your own psyche at that moment, and it's just that connection, you know. Maybe that's what happens, you know. And those like the younger generation, that's their Lion King. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like just as we perceived things from like the 70s and 80s as looking outdated, I'm sure when they saw like the 90s movies, they were like, oh, this feels and looks a little outdated, but it's great in its own right, but like, you know, it didn't feel right to them, you know. I'm sure it's the same thing. Although I love a lot of 80s movies.
You know what was a good one? Do you guys remember the live action Jungle Book, like the 94 one? I thought
yes,
that was not like the newest one
with the guy from Mortal Kombat. Was that the guy in it? Or
yes,
that's right.
Yes,
right?
Yep.
Liu Kang.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. What was that? I forget the actor's name, but he was also Go-Bei in Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yes.
Yeah,
dude, I think that's the Chris Farley movie I've seen the least. But like, I only really remember the scene where he's like, "I will show you my skills at hiding." Turn around again, and like he's just like looking for a place to hide. He puts the lamp over his head, and like that's all I remember.
And he sees the gut, but it's actually a pillow on a broomstick, and it falls over. He's like, yeah. I remember even after he passed, like there was that movie with David Spade where like, you know, like Artie Lang was supposed to be Chris Farley. Like they definitely casted Artie Lang as like the Chris Farley filler spot.
Yeah.
Like you could just tell because it was made like a year or two after he passed. Like, damn, they wrote that script with Chris Farley in mind for sure. You know,
that was like one of the first like comedian celebrity deaths I remember noticing as a kid. Like it wasn't like the hardest hitting one, you know, but it was like the first that I was like, I know that guy. He's one of my guys, you know. It's so weird. It's crazy. Like, and now it's just become more frequent, but
for sure.
And now it's like, okay, Robin Williams, Ray Liotta, Bob Saget, Gilbert Gottfried. It's like they're just drop it. You know what I mean? Like these are like Betty White. Like these are names that you know what I mean? Like everyone goes through that. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah. Well,
it's crazy. Like it'll get you.
Yeah. I mean,
right there.
I think Robin Williams was my biggest one, probably. Like he was,
he was my favorite.
He was my favorite. Yeah.
Hook. Do you know how many times a day, like when I play Destiny or like, you know, and someone's, you know, like doing something for the first time, I am so encouraging, and I say, "You're doing it, Peter. You're doing it." And dude, I quote that all the time, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah,
There you are, Peter.
There you are, Peter. I love that line. That kid's
Dude, yeah,
adorable. I love that.
Mushing the faces, like, there you are, Peter.
That's gonna be the thumbnail for Josh.
Beautiful.
Actually, I should do that for all of us.
We were all doing it, so you got it. Wow.
All right. All right, let's see. It's gonna get late, and I have to edit this all tonight. So,
Anthony, real quick, I love your shirt. The greens, I love it. Monochromatic, but it is.
Yeah, dude.
I don't even know who Velour and Tweed are.
Yeah,
good. It's actually a Kickstarter that Anthony got me to back that he was already backing. It was it's another comic writer and stuff like that. And got their comic kickstarted and everything. And that's those.
You're welcome for your free plug, Velour and Tweed. You're welcome.
Let me see. What was another thing that people wanted us to ask Josh? Embarrassing stories. Okay.
Oh, easy. I'll tell you this embarrassing story. Best one. I've been Lebanese my whole life. All right. When I was a kid, I would tell people that I was Lebanese, and I didn't even know that Lebanon was a country. I didn't even know it existed. All right. So when I was young, people would be like, haha, Josh is a lesbian. And I hated that so much that I started telling people I'm Italian. And damn it, if you tell a lie long enough, you start to believe it. And I told people I was Italian for so much of my life. And I was like, oh, so my Uncle Cy, I found out, like, Cy's an Italian name. Hey, Uncle Cy, yeah, the gabagool, yada, yada. You know what I mean? Come to find out, it was Uncle Saeed. Like,
wow,
Arabic, like Lebanese. And I'm like, oh my God, flashbacks. I am Lebanese. I'm not Italian at all.
I did this. Dude, I remember like when I first met you, you were so critical of pasta sauce and stuff. Like you and Tina would like Tina's Italian.
What is this sauce? What, we call it gravy.
This isn't mozzarella.
You tell this is
what is the stuff? I'm like,
you know what? That's why I was so intimidated by Anthony LaFauci. I'm like, this guy's the real deal. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
He's gonna sense it.
He's gonna know I'm not his people. And I have to do this real quick. Embarrassing story. I have to do it for Tina's sake. Until I was maybe 24 years old.
Oh yes,
I thought the word outfit, like, hey, that's a nice outfit. I thought it was outfit, like ALPHET or ALFET, and dude, I would even like go into the mall and be like, American Eagle Outfitters. What a weird word. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
just not even connect the two dots. And then you texted Tina one time, like, is this outfit okay? And
she's like, what?
What outfit?
She's like, I'm like, it is not outfit. You're stupid. And no, I was the dumb Lebanese, not Italian, stupid one.
Oh, that's cool.
So those are my two quick embarrassing stories. Just Don't Jump is a great one.
Yeah. Oh that was, what was it? It was Ninja Turtles, right?
No, it was Mario.
It was
Mario.
Mario.
End of the fucking slope, like with the penguin. Like all I had to do was.
It's a very simple story, but yeah, like we were playing a level and like Josh was like trying to clear this thing, and I'm like, Josh, just don't jump. Like Mario just like bumps over the ledge by if you just move him, he just moves right over that little slot.
I had to just like not do anything.
Just don't.
I was going out of my way to
fail.
Yeah, I had to go out of my way to fail multiple times. Be like, dude, just don't hit A. Like, just don't
do less. Do less. No, now you're doing nothing. But
so my outfit, I would think was height. I used to think height was a word, but it's all height. There is no height. It's all height. It's just height.
Height.
HEIGHT. No height.
Okay.
This is like width, length, height.
And then height.
I get it.
And that's probably where the association comes from. Is it's got to be height if it's width and length. Like
that's a very Nick Miller thing to say. How much height do you have? Like, how tall are you? You know what I mean?
I give height, you give height.
Exactly. I give you height.
All right. So at the end of every show, we talk about what we're going to do this week. Josh, do you have anything you're planning on doing this week? Like productivity-wise, like skill-wise, learning-wise, personal-wise?
Just working on my reel. I probably have about 8 seconds of it done. And even though that sounds like nothing, 8 seconds is probably probably close to 40 hours work. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude, it's like Ben Wyatt.
So,
from,
I was just thinking of that.
It's Ben Wyatt from Parks and Rec.
Are you?
He's doing the stop motion.
Yep.
Dude, it's so much work.
Does this look like the work, or what is it? The results of a depressed person or something like that? Yeah.
I was working on that for 2 weeks.
Yeah. But yeah, that is that's my constant is to get my reel done so I can start giving it to big companies. So that's
very cool.
That's what I'm doing.
Very cool.
Yep.
What are you doing, Steven?
There is absolutely no doubt, no question that this last page will be completed before this week's end. So I will finish drawing the comic this week. And then I'll probably work on some filler pages in the meantime. Like remember how I was talking about the guest stars and the issue? I might do a little character bio real quick for each one of them or something, just something fun to put in there. But that's what I'll probably work on after, because I'm going to get that page done this week for sure. So Deathless issue 1 will be drawn this week.
That's so exciting.
That's beautiful. That's great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to write 3 pages and color 1 page. That's my plan this week. I'm gonna get that done. I'm also gonna fix some Patreon stuff that I've been meaning to fix. But
so that's what I'm question, Anthony, real quick. I'm sorry if this goes long. Do you write the entire comic and then give it to him, or do you guys kind of this page is done? Okay, I'll write 2 more pages for you. Does he know what he's gonna draw at the end?
He's got most of the issues. There, I think with Deathless 1, he had the first 16 pages when I had it.
Yeah,
when I first started drawing it.
Yeah.
But more times than not, he's already got every page done. He might do punch ups, or when I get to a certain page and he knows I'm on a page, if his brain was going somewhere else, that he'll get with me before I draw anything. Yeah. But 9 times out of 10, what he's written is pretty much the imagery. The dialogue might change a little bit, but the imagery is not going to change.
Nice. Cool.
So
yeah,
cool.
That's usually my process of writing is I try to focus on everything that has to be on the page first and be the character has to say something funny here that makes you think of this. The words aren't important yet, so it's as long as you know where the characters are going to be, and then later, so I can give that to Steven, so then later on I can just punch it up and be that's a funnier joke or whatever.
And then he basically Judd Apatow line-oramas it. I think you basically just fire lines at it till something sticks, and then that's the joke, and it's great.
All right, Josh, thank you for joining us. I hope you have fun.
Thanks for inviting me. Yeah. It was awesome. Yeah, this was very smooth. No kinks, no dead air. It was nice. I loved it.
I mean, that 2 hour never mind. I was gonna make a joke, but it's just more editing for Anthony.
Anthony, if you could finish Steven's thought, please. Thank you.
That 2 hour.
Seriously, this is a 2 hour Bitches Get Stitches starting now. Dungeons and Dragons, son, starring RuPaul. Let's do this. We're gonna pitch this to Bravo. We're gonna be on. No, that would be amazing, though. RuPaul, get with me. I will write that show with you.
Oh man,
Dungeons and Dragons. How is that not a thing yet? That's a perfect what? Okay,
totally.
Anyway, but right, do the thing. The pitches get stitches. But okay, thank you all for joining us. Josh, thank you for joining us. Steven, I love you guys.
Absolutely.
You guys are amazing. We're gonna finish this comic this week. If you want to see updates, join us on Patreon, follow us on Twitter, we're on Facebook, all over the place. All the links are below. Please subscribe to the podcast. We need you. We love you. Oh baby, oh baby. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard, Wario, Wah, and
I'm Josh.
This has been episode 96 of We Have Issues. See you next week. We did it.
I still take my knife and stab you with the
The best part is you're filming, right? So this is probably the end of the episode clip. If I know Anthony,
just inexplicable Wario.
No,